you'll come for that. And if you want to help with food, there's a sign up in the cloak. There's voter information sheets out there. I keep forgetting to mention our Becoming Beloved community team has put that together. So, and there's people who will help drive you to the polls if that's something that would be helpful. And there's a white ribbon out there on the table, and this is also in the cloak. For All Saints Day this year, we're going to write the names of people we want to remember on this ribbon and then wrap it around the altar rail so that we're celebrating that heavenly banquet together on November 5th. So next couple of weeks, put your loved ones' names there, and then we'll just read the names of the people who died in the last year. And we'll be also remembering our founders that day. And Friday the 20th, which is this coming Friday, which is impossible for me to believe, but that is the celebration of our dear friend Tom Hale's life at 11 o'clock. So I hope to see you there. This is also our season of naming the abundance around us and giving thanks for that. And so we've had people speak at all our services so far, and that will continue. And today we're honored to have Cornelia Taylor, our youth formation coordinator, who's going to talk to us. Thank you, Cornelia, for being here.
So, Lisa and I were having a meeting about a month ago, and it was about Christian formation. And somehow during that meeting, I talked about how serving in the church and giving has changed me. And it prompted her to invite me and inspire me to stand before you today, which is where I want to start, of how important being invited to give and being inspired to give. And I first wanted to talk about when I first was inspired to give was through my parents and their faithfulness to the church. They would discuss as a family, as a couple, their finances and how they wanted to proceed to give to the church. It was something they did together that I watched them do. My father would write the check, my mother would take the check. Sometimes even we would get special envelopes, right? And I thought as a kid that was really neat. And then go to church on Sunday and see not only her put that into the church offertory plate, but then see others put into the plate, and happily with smiles on their faces, and Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. And that inspired me so much as a child that I wanted to give. At first, it was just I wanted to take the envelope from my mother's hand and put it in there, but then I wanted to be able to give of my own. And as a kid, I'm scrounging for pennies, for quarters, and putting that in there, but that inspired me to be a giver. And so the reason why I bring this up is that we as a church community, through our giving, can inspire others to give as we see each other give happily, joyfully, abundantly, sharing what we have to give. And it's not just putting into the plate, but it's also putting in of our time and our talents. Because another inspiration that I had was as a child, going to church, I would see the acolytes. And there's one in particular, his name was Bruce, and he rang the Sanctus bells during communion. And I remember, I want to do that. But I was like 3 or 4. And I would beg my mom, and she knew I was, 3 or 4. You can't be an acolyte, right? But lo and behold, she went to talk to our priest. He found a way to have me participate. He let me be a bolt girl for the thurifer, the incense. And they made me an acolyte robe just to fit me. And I had the boat in my hand, and all I had to do, he was like, just walk beside me. That's all I need you to do. But he found a way and invited me in. And instead of finding a way to say, no, you have to wait, he saw that there's a way to let her participate, to have her serve, to have this joy that she has, this desire to find a way, a place in our church. And so that's another important thing, is that we see, instead of ways that we can't, we find ways that we can. And that's important in stewardship, because there are always ways that people can give and can do, whether it be some people are in the season of their life to give financially, some are in the season of their life to give, to be the one who takes communion to people that are at home or in the hospital. And so there's always a way in the church that we can do and help. And it's not just financially, but it's also of our time and of our talents and of our treasures. But it's always that I feel seeing people, being inspired, being invited. And then the last thing that I wanted to say was, looking back at my service in the church, I didn't think this was going to be a part of it, but it is as I reflect how much it has changed me. What giving faithfully, either of my money, of my time, of the gifts that God has bestowed and trusted in me, how deeply it has changed me, how it has given me calm where there was anger, how it has given me a way to see how someone else feels and to understand, how it has given me a way when my heart has been broken and bruised and hurt to forgive. It has changed me to give and to serve. And I just give thanks to God that He has allowed me to have such a church family everywhere I go that has been abundant in their love of me and showing me how to be a child of God and to be the hands and feet of Christ in this world, and that no offering is too small. And so I ask you to pray and to ask God, how will you have me do your work in this world? Because also it's a gift to you. It's a gift to you that God is really giving when you give. Amen.
Thank you so much, Cornelia, for your words